Hi, I'm Miranda Loy, you're watching Flavourmag, and right now I'm with a guy who you could confuse as a tattoo artist, but he's not, I promise you. He's flown all the way from LA, he's a rapper and a producer, and he goes by the name of Kid Ink.
Kid Ink, baby.
How are you?
I'm doing alright, pleasure.
Nice to meet you, thank you, welcome to London.
Yes.
So I've just literally spoken to you off camera, you said you've been doing this since Monday.
Yeah, I've been working out here as soon as I got here, man. It was time for work promotions. I got the new single, Show Me, and I've been getting a lot of support, so it's always good to give back that, the love to the people who've been supporting me. Yeah.
Love that. Well, we'll get into that, but in terms of Kid Ink, right, obviously you're tattooed out.
I'm tattooed out. I got my long sleeves on today. It's cold out here, but
yeah, how you finding the weather?
The weather's cool. It's not a big change. It's a big change from normal LA, but I left LA raining. So I went from New York, LA rain to here, so it's not too, I didn't see too much sun.
Not too bad. So Kid Ink, obviously the fact that you're covered in ink, where did the name come from?
The name, really was something that, the tattoos came before the music. So
oh, really?
For me, it was like, Kid Ink represented me aside from the music, just whether, if I was a regular person and I wanted a nickname, it might just be Kid Ink because that was all I was about at the time, just getting tattoos and working at the tattoo shop before my music was successful, before I even thought. And I was a producer at first, so it was like I didn't plan on getting seen. I was a behind the scenes guy. I was getting tatted for just me and just having an interest, Being artist, I was drawing everything. So.
What's your favorite one?
Probably my hand tattoo.
Let's have a look. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did you design all of these? I did. Yeah, so you've literally designed every single one of them.
Yeah, for the most part. I feel like just recently maybe I've gone more into like the tattoo artist where I'll give him an idea and tell him just draw it. But a lot of times before I would come in with a sketch. I'd be like, yo, straighten this sketch up. I drew this, or even like the tattoos on my wrist, and I have a tattoo on my elbow that I physically drew with a pen.
Was
like
that
a regular pen, and then they redid it over the pen.
Was that not painful?
It was painful, a little,
So you like a bit of pain then?
But you like the pain a little.
You like the pain.
It's addicting.
So anyway, in terms of your music, right, you originally were very successful independently. What made you do that change? Because you signed this year to RCA.
Yes.
What made you make that massive jump? Because I'm sure it was a massive jump.
The massive jump pretty much was made, I felt like independently I hit a ceiling of, just success as far as, I had an independent album which sold 20,000 records, which is something that a lot of just major label artists can't do who have pushing. So, it motivated me and motivated other labels to know that I had just a cool success rate so far and that they could just add to that momentum. And, getting down to when I had to really pick and have a really stressful moment to picking through the labels and figuring everything out, I think it took a couple months. It wasn't really one of those, wake up, I'm signed. It was one of those processes where it really processed for about 6 months, figuring it all out, and came to an agreement with RCA just more so once we got past the dollar signs. It was really just about who could give us the right creative control musically, and RCA just understood that. And I felt like, them not having a huge hip-hop roster, I wouldn't be backburnered. The whole fear was about signing to a label and being behind 8 other artists, to where when someone comes and says, or if the NBA says, we need somebody to perform at halftime, I'm going to be the 5th person that they choose.
Yeah, of course.
That, I didn't want to be in that position to where I had to work harder to prove myself with my peers on my label,
Well, speaking of success, I mean, you come from LA, and you've got, like, the success of people like The Game, Kendrick Lamar, and Snoop. Is there any pressure on you? Because they've done extremely well.
I mean, it's definitely, I think it's not really a pressure more than a motivation when I see, The Game in the streets, or I just got off tour with Kendrick and I see everything he's doing and how big it is. It's just a motivation to do more, and lets me know what doors are open, if I just want to reach them. And I think that, aside from anything, my biggest difference between those artists is not having a West Coast cosign. I don't have Dr. Dre or Snoop Dogg, telling everyone that I'm, that next guy from the coast or anything like that. So it gives me a different outlook, a different approach on everything, and I just use them as a motivation to, try to strive and be at the same moment.
I love that, because you seem quite positive about it. A lot of the time people are against each other, but you seem like team.
Yeah, because, I mean, I feel like it's definitely something that's growing on the West Coast, just being more, I want to say, Southern hospitality, because that's where we get it from, man. Everyone always says, down in the South, they strive so much because they team up and work together. And
Yeah.
you see that just in music and in hip-hop, too. And even with, if it goes all the way to country music, which is the biggest, selling genre ever, it's just, you got to take some things from that, and I feel like the West Coast has, as far as just coming together and using each other to, strive.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, for a bigger purpose. It's not like, anyone's taking anything from each other, more just adding.
All right, let's talk about your single, Show Me, which you've got with another hottie. 2 hotties on 1 track. You know what, it's funny, when I was doing my research about you, my mum was walking past, she was like, oh, he's very good looking.
Oh, appreciate it.
And she's not a hip-hop head at all.
Yeah.
Who out of you two gets, like, the most attention? Because you're both very good-looking guys on the track.
The thing, I don't know how many people tell him that he looks like me.
You do?
But
Who's
I know
older?
that people always tell me that I look like him.
Who's older out of you two?
I'm older. So he has to look like me
Yeah,
because I'm
there you
older.
go.
So technically, Chris Brown looks like Kid Ink because I'm older than him. But because, of course, he was a superstar when I was in high school, and not a superstar, it was, I used it to my advantage. Girls would be like, oh, you look like Chris Brown. Yeah, you like Chris Brown? Okay, you like me? Okay, let's talk. More so than when I actually started, to stamp Kid Ink as an artist.
Yeah.
I had to, move aside from that and really, brand myself. And, with the tattoos on my face, everything that I was doing was really, Kid Ink coming out of a shell and separating himself. And I feel like when we're together, it's not that. I haven't been with Chris one time where someone said, oh, you guys look alike in our faces. But when we're alone,
you resemble a little bit.
But when we're together, no one says anything. Everyone's quiet. But when we're separated, they're like, oh, you guys look alike. But when we're together, they're like...
No one says nothing.
Yeah, no one says anything.
Lee, I want to play a quick game with you before we wrap up. How would you, first and foremost, would you describe your ideal women? Because obviously there's loads of women that want to know. They probably want to know if you're single. Are you single?
I'm not single.
Oh,
sorry.
Sorry, Lee.
Ideal female, I just look for females who are just comfortable with themselves. I feel like there's always different beauty in females. You always can find, the different things. Personality is the key, though.
Yeah.
I know a lot of really beautiful females with terrible personalities that make them ugly.
Yeah, not cool. Thank you so much. So in terms of the track, it came out this week. It's getting a lot of love in the UK. I wish it all the success. Good luck for tonight.
Thank you.
Have you got any messages for your fans that are watching?
The message for the fans, man, is just... I hope I inspire you and motivate you, man, to go out there and do what you want to do. And I hope that I can be the mold for just, grind and hard work and consistency and quality and coolness. West Coast.
We love that. Well, I've been Miranda Loy. He's been Kidding, and Flavourmag.